If you ever use GitHub, there's a chance your secrets are already exposed right now, and you don't even know it. The worst part is, you don't need to get hacked. You can leak the keys yourself by one small mistake. Now listen carefully. This video is not about cool tools or coding tricks. This is about GitHub tools that can instantly reveal passwords, tokens, API keys, private keys, admin access, and sensitive files that were never meant to be public. One wrong upload, one copied key, one careless commit, and your full project can turn into a disaster while you're sleeping. That's why these tools feel illegal to know, because they show how fast trust can break, how fast access can spread, and how silent the damage can be. After this video, you will never look at GitHub the same way again, because you'll realize the biggest danger isn't always hackers, it's accidental exposure. Before going into the video, I need to strongly mention that everything in this video is only for ethical hacking, bug bounty, and defensive education. Never use these tools to target people or systems you don't own or don't have permission to test. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and watch the video till the end. So let's get into the video soon. Trufflehog is one of those GitHub tools that feels illegal the moment you understand what it actually does. Because it's not searching code, it's hunting secrets like a predator. Real secrets, API keys, database passwords, private keys, access tokens, cloud credentials, the exact keys that can open everything if they land in the wrong place. And the most dangerous part is, these leaks don't happen because of some genius hacker. They happen because one normal person made one small mistake and pushed it to a repo for just a few minutes. Trufflehog is built to discover, classify, validate, and analyze leaked secrets, and it can scan deep across Git history, not just the latest version you see on the screen. That means even if someone deletes the secret later, it might still be living inside commit history like a ghost that never dies. That's why Trufflehog feels like a crime scene flashlight. One scan, and suddenly you see everything that was hidden but still there. This is how real breaches start. A token gets exposed, the attacker grabs it, cloud access opens, and then everything escalates fast. It turns maybe we are safe into we are already cooked. And the worst part? Many companies don't even know this happened until damage is done. Now here's the scary connection. Trufflehog finds the secrets after they leak, but what if you want a tool that stops the leak before it even happens, like a guard standing at the gate of every commit? That's where the next one comes in. GitLeaks is basically the security camera for your codebase, but it's also the tool that makes developers freeze when it catches them red-handed. Because GitLeaks doesn't care about excuses. It doesn't care if it was only a test key. It doesn't care if it was just for a few minutes. It looks at your Git repos, your files, your commits, and it detects secrets like passwords, API keys, tokens, private keys, cloud credentials, and even those small strings people think are harmless. And the reason it feels illegal is not because it breaks anything, it's because it exposes how dangerously careless humans can be. One second you believe your repo is clean and professional, next second GitLeaks shows you a key sitting in plain text like a free giveaway. And here's what makes it scary. It's not only a one-time scan. GitLeaks can run as a CLI tool, inside GitHub Actions, as a pre-commit check, or inside your CI/CD pipeline. That means it can stop the leak before it becomes a headline. Every time someone tries to push a secret, the pipeline can scream, block it, and force a fix. That's why real teams trust it, because most breaches don't start with elite hacking. They start with one developer pushing a secret and forgetting it exists. And when that secret is a cloud token or a database key, it can become full access in seconds. Git leaks is the perfect proof that small mistakes are never small in cybersecurity. And now the chain gets darker. Trufflehog and Git leaks expose secrets. But what if the danger isn't only secrets? What if the danger is the files people upload without thinking? Backups, configs, exports, weird junk that leaks everything. That's where the next tool attacks your brain. GitHub is the tool that makes you realize something brutal. Most people don't get hacked because they are famous. They get hacked because they are messy. GitHub is basically a repo recon detective. It doesn't hack your system. It doesn't need to. It simply looks through repositories and highlights files that are likely sensitive, risky, or stupidly exposed. And it does this using something terrifyingly simple: human behavior. People love shortcuts. People love backups. People love uploading random temporary files. People think nobody will notice, but GitHub notices. It finds backup files, config files, old exports, credential leftovers, and suspicious filenames that look innocent but contain private information. That's why it feels illegal, because it turns GitHub into a map of human mistakes. The moment you understand that, your mind flips. You stop thinking my code is safe. You start thinking, what did we accidentally expose? Because you don't need a genius attacker if your repo is already leaking. For defenders, GitHub is a powerful audit tool. It helps teams scan their own organization, clean up the junk, remove risky files, and enforce rules so employees don't upload dangerous data again. But attackers love this too, because it's silent reconnaissance. No alerts, no alarms, no brute force, just observing the mess and choosing the easiest target. Because finding exposed files is scary, but the real horror is what happens inside company networks when identity permissions are wrong. When one weak user path can become full control. That's why Bloodhound exists. Bloodhound is where things stop feeling like tools and start feeling like a weapon system. Because Bloodhound doesn't just find secrets or files, it maps identity relationships inside an environment and exposes hidden attack paths. SpectreOps explains it as graph-based attack path mapping, and that one sentence should terrify you, because it reveals the fastest and quietest path from a normal low-level user to the highest privilege account. Think about that. Fastest and quietest. That's why Bloodhound feels illegal. It's like turning a giant corporate network into a GPS route. Start here, move here, end here. And this is what destroys companies. Not brute force, not Hollywood hacking, just misconfigurations, permissions, group memberships, inherited rights, and trust paths that nobody bothered to understand. Bloodhound makes the invisible visible. It turns confusing identity chaos into clean graph lines that show exactly where the environment is weak. And it proves something deadly. A company can have firewalls and antivirus and expensive tools, but one wrong permission chain can still lead to full takeover. The best part is, Bloodhound is also defensive gold. It helps organizations fix choke points, remove risky privilege routes, and reduce attack paths instead of doing random useless changes. Okay, but how do attackers actually prove it's real? That's where the next monster walks in. Metasploit is the most famous hacking framework on GitHub, and it's famous for one reason: it turns vulnerabilities into reality. People can talk about CVEs all day and argue about patch notes all day, but Metasploit is where the truth becomes visible. Because it doesn't just say there is a bug, it shows what that bug can really cause, and that's why it feels illegal. To normal people, it looks like a real hacking weapon packed into one framework. Modules, payloads, options, results, everything in one place. It takes a boring vulnerability report and turns it into something terrifying, This can become full compromise. That's why Metasploit never dies. It's the tool that proves danger is not a theory, it's real. And the scariest part is what it exposes about modern security. A company can spend millions on protection, but one missed update can still open the door for disaster. Because most systems don't fall from genius hacks. They fall from simple weakness that stayed open for too long. Metasploit makes that weakness visible. It turns silent risks into loud proof, and that's why security teams respect it and fear it at the same time. What makes Metasploit even more dangerous is how fast it changes the mindset of someone watching. You stop thinking security is just firewalls and antivirus, and you start understanding the real truth. Security is about weak points, and weak points get exploited. One outdated service, one exposed feature, one forgotten patch, and the entire machine can become a target. That's why Metasploit is always mentioned in penetration testing, training labs, and real-world assessments. It shows impact clearly, and impact is what forces companies to take action. Because once you can prove a vulnerability can become access, nobody can ignore it anymore. And now here's where the fear grows. Once you understand Metasploit exists, you realize the internet is full of systems running with the same old mistakes. You start thinking, if this framework can prove damage this easily, how many systems are still unpatched right now? One tiny coding mistake can expose everything, and the next tool tests those weaknesses like a surgical blade. That's where we go next. SQL Map is the tool that exposes the most embarrassing truth of the modern internet. Even in 2026, many websites still fail because of basic injection mistakes. SQL Map is famous because it automates SQL injection testing and turns the result into a clear yes or no. And when it finds something, it can prove impact fast. That's why it feels illegal, because it doesn't feel like normal testing. It feels like the tool is forcing a website to admit what it's hiding. And the scary part is how simple the weakness really is. Injection is basically a website trusting user input like it's safe, when it's actually dangerous. One tiny input box, one URL parameter, one search field, and suddenly the application starts behaving in ways it was never meant to behave. A normal user sees a login page and thinks it's secure. A hacker sees a chance to bend logic. A defender sees a fire hazard waiting to explode. SQL Map turns that weak trust into a reality check. It can reveal if a parameter is vulnerable and whether the app is protecting itself properly. And this problem exists because many developers rush, reuse unsafe code, skip validation, or assume nobody will test it seriously. But attackers test it seriously every day, and they don't need to be geniuses. They just need the application to be sloppy. That's why SQL Map is terrifying, because it proves that secure-looking websites can still be weak inside. The fix is always boring but powerful. Parameterized queries, strict validation, proper permissions, and separating database roles so one mistake can't expose everything. Because SQL Map doesn't magically break strong systems. It only punishes weak ones. And once you understand that, you stop trusting websites by their design and start judging them by their security discipline. Now the fear gets bigger, because websites are only one part of the world. Internal networks are another beast. Windows authentication is another beast. And protocol-level control is where things become truly dangerous. That's where the next tool steps in. In-Packet is not a single tool. It's an entire protocol-level power kit. And once you understand it, you realize how scary Windows networks really are. It's a collection of Python classes for working with network protocols, and it gives low-level access to packets and authentication behavior that most people don't even know exists. It includes protocol implementations for things like SMB and MSRPC, and that sentence alone sounds illegal. Because once you can craft, parse, and manipulate protocol communication, you're no longer playing at the surface level, like clicking buttons or scanning websites. You're operating inside the plumbing of real corporate networks, where small weaknesses can turn into total control. That's exactly why Impacket shows up everywhere in security research, red teaming, and also real attacker toolchains. Threat reports even mention Impacket being used through common Windows management paths inside corporate environments, and that should make any company nervous. Because many organizations protect the front door but forget the inside hallways. They lock down the website but leave identity permissions messy. They buy expensive tools, but they don't monitor internal authentication properly. And when that internal visibility is weak, attackers don't need to be loud. They can move quietly, step by step, without triggering panic. This is also why Impacket connects back to everything you heard in this video, like a perfect chain. A leaked GitHub secret becomes access. Access becomes identity movement. Identity movement becomes privilege escalation. Privilege escalation becomes total control. That's the real story of modern attacks, and that's why Impacket feels like the final boss. You don't ban Impacket. You build security so Impacket becomes useless. Hardening, monitoring, reducing attack paths, and stopping credentials from living where they shouldn't. That's how you win. So now you understand why these 7 GitHub tools feel illegal, not because they are evil, but because they expose reality. They show how secrets leak, how humans make mistakes, and how attackers move without loud noise. Trufflehog proves secrets don't die, they just hide in history. Git leaks proves one careless push can become a company disaster. GitRob proves messy files are silent leaks. Bloodhound proves identity paths can be the real weakness. Metasploit proves a vulnerability becomes real damage. SQL Map proves web apps still fail in stupid ways. And Impacket proves protocol-level control is where real-world corporate attacks live. If you're a defender, this list is a warning. If you're an ethical hacker, this list is a blueprint to find and fix what others ignore. Don't forget to subscribe my channel and stay tuned for more videos like this. We will meet again soon. Goodbye for now.